My name is Takeshi. I was not born strong. I was not brave. I was scared of everything. My own thoughts were like enemies living inside my head. I worried about the future. I regretted the past. I felt trapped in a prison no one could see. I used to pretend I was fine, but inside I was always shaking. I grew up near cold mountains in Japan, in a small village where people spoke in whispers. Everyone knew stories about a secret group who lived deep inside the forest. People called them the Silent Eyes. Some said they could control their own mind. Some even said they could control other people just by looking at them. Elders warned us again and again, never talk about them, never look for them, never try to find them. Their words were strong, but my fear of my own mind was stronger. Every night, I felt like my thoughts were screaming at me. Fear, anger, jealousy, shame, they never stopped. I wanted silence. I wanted peace. I wanted control over my life. I heard the voice in my head saying, "You are weak. You are nothing." I hated that voice, but I didn't know how to stop it. One rainy night, I saw something impossible. A masked warrior stood alone on the old bridge outside the village. Rain hit his armor. Wind tried to push him, but he did not move even a hair. He stood like stone. I could not look away. He turned his face toward me. I felt frozen, like he could see every weakness inside me. Without opening his mouth, he spoke with a calm voice. "If your mind rules you, you are already dead." Those words hit me like lightning. How did he know my struggle? How did he know the war happening inside me? Before I could speak, he walked away into the dark. That moment changed something inside me. I decided I would not live like a slave to my own mind. I needed help. I needed the Silent Eyes. The next morning, I followed a red symbol painted on a tree. I saw another mark on a rock, and another on the ground. They led me deeper into the forest. Snow began to fall. My fingers went numb. My legs hurt. But I kept walking. After hours, I found a hidden cave with a temple built inside stone. Torches burned without smoke. The air felt heavy. The Silent Eyes stood around me. Their masks had no emotion. They did not blink. They simply looked into me. They said their way was forbidden because it destroys weakness, reveals darkness, and gives the power to move other minds without a single word. They asked me a question I will never forget. Do you want to own your mind or be owned by it? Without thinking, I said yes. I thought I was ready. I was wrong. Their leader walked toward me. His voice was calm but sharp. To control the world, control your mind first. My training began with silence, fear, and the death of the person I used to be. The first morning of training felt like waking up inside someone else's life. I was pulled from sleep before the sun even touched the sky. My whole body wanted to rest, but the masters did not care about bodies. They cared only about the mind. I was told to sit on the cold ground, cross my legs, and stay completely still. Minutes became hours. My back hurt. My legs burned. Thoughts screamed inside my head. But the rule was clear. No movement, no emotion, no excuses. This was called attention. They said a strong mind can focus on one thing so deeply that the whole world disappears. I tried to focus on my breath. In, out, in, out, in, out, but my mind jumped everywhere. I remembered my old life. I worried about failing. I judged myself. Every thought was a chain. The master whispered, "Your mind is lying to you. Do not follow the lies." That was the first time I realized how loud the mind can be when you try to silence it. They forced me to balance on thin poles while freezing wind pushed against me. If I shook even a little, I fell. They blindfolded me and told me to walk forward. I could not see. I could only listen. They said, "Smell danger before it arrives. Feel movement in the air. Hear a heartbeat far away." I thought it was impossible. But slowly, I became aware of things I never noticed before. A shift in the wind told me someone was close. A tiny sound told me where to step. My senses woke up like they were asleep my whole life. Then came the second lesson: emotional silence. They surrounded me and shouted insults. They pushed me. Sometimes they hit me without warning. My first instinct was anger, but anger is loud. Fear is loud. The master said, if your enemy controls your emotion, they control your life. I had to learn to keep my heart calm, even when everything felt wrong. I learned that fear is only a thought. Pain is only a message. Stress is only a choice. My body hurt, but my mind slowly learned not to react. Night after night, I walked alone through the forest with no light. Every sound made me think something was coming to attack me. My heart pounded like a drum, but I kept moving. The darkness taught me that the real enemy lives inside imagination. The more I faced fear, the weaker it became. The third step was presence. Masters told me to erase the past and the future from my thoughts. Only 1 second matters. The second I am living right now. It was the hardest lesson. Memories tried to pull me back. Worries tried to push me forward. My head fought me more than any opponent. Some students vanished during training. They could not win the fight inside themselves. I felt sad for them, but also afraid that I could be next. I learned that controlling others might be easy, but controlling yourself is the greatest challenge in the world. One final drill tested everything. A master stared into my eyes. If my thoughts moved, he knew instantly. His gaze cut through every secret inside me. I finally understood the truth. A still mind is the strongest weapon a human can have. After months of painful training, I was finally judged, ready to learn the most dangerous method of the silent eyes. They called it mind grip. They said only a few students had ever reached this level. Because this skill does not just change how you fight, it changes who you are. A master stood in front of me and spoke clearly. People obeyed the one with the calmest mind. At first, I did not fully understand. But then the real training started. The first rule of mind grip was simple to say, but difficult to master. See the mind before the body moves. They put me in the middle of the training ground, and someone attacked suddenly. I had to stay still until the very last moment. I was taught to watch for small signals. When someone wants to punch, their shoulder tightens a second before. When someone plans to run, their feet shift for balance. When someone lies, their breathing changes. The body always reveals what the mind is preparing. Once I learned this, every attack felt slow to me. I could move just a little and avoid it easily. My movements became quiet, clean, and confident. The second rule was even more powerful. Speak without voice. The masters showed me that a silent stare can break a strong man's courage. A slow breath can make an angry person hesitate. A tiny step forward can make a coward run away. The idea was to control the space around me with nothing but stillness. I learned that fear rises from the imagination. If I controlled my own imagination, I could influence theirs too, without saying a single word. I could make someone drop their weapon or step back in doubt. The third rule was the strangest: break patterns. Humans expect certain reactions. If someone shouts, most people shout back. If someone threatens, most fight or run. I was trained to do the opposite. If someone screamed at me, I would smile calmly. If someone pushed me, I would relax instead of resisting. This confused the opponent. Their brain stopped working normally. In that moment of confusion, I gained control. A confused mind is easy to guide anywhere. After learning these 3 rules, I began to feel a new strength inside me. I could stop a fight before it began. I could calm a panicking group just by breathing slowly. I could make the aggressive feel weak and the weak feel strong. It felt like magic, but it was only the mind. But power always brings danger. My thoughts started to change. I began to enjoy the feeling of control. I started thinking, what if I can make everyone listen to me? What if I never need to feel fear again? My master noticed the darkness in my eyes. He warned me softly, if you use this power for ego, you lose your soul. Those words scared me more than any attack. I realized that controlling others is easy, but controlling myself is still a battle I must fight every day. They told me the final ceremony was coming soon. If I passed, I would become a true silent eye. If I failed, I would simply disappear like the ones before me. My heart was silent, but the storm inside me was growing. The masters said I was ready. They also said no one feels ready for the real test. My stomach tightened as they blindfolded me at dawn. When I could see again, I stood near a small village. Smoke rose from burning roofs. I heard metal clashing and people screaming. This was no training ground. Lives were at risk. My master stood beside me and spoke quietly, as if the chaos did not exist. Remember? Fear begins in the mind. Those words should have comforted me, but fear rushed through my chest. This was the moment where everything I learned would either protect the innocent or prove useless. A child cried behind me. I could feel her small hands grabbing my clothes. I wanted to protect her, but my legs refused to move. My breathing quickened. My thoughts screamed that I was not strong enough. Then I remembered the first teaching. See the mind before the body. A bandit charged toward me with a blade. His footsteps were wild and loud. His eyes shook with desperation. He wanted victory fast, as if he feared losing. His weakness was clear. I inhaled slowly and stepped aside just before the blade cut the air where I had stood. His own speed threw him to the ground.